Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Amusement Park Pirates, or to another Happiest podcast on YouTube. We thank you all for joining us today. Moving along towards tonight, we have some very special guests to talk. A special guest to talk to. And at any time during tonight's stream, you are more than welcome to stop us at any time for discussion. So let's get started. So starting off, we have a very special guest joining us. So please help us welcome my co-host for this evening, Disney with Matthew, as well as we also have our guest tonight. He is our travel advisor. You may have seen him mentioned before on all of our streams. So please help me welcome Nick Jenkins from Ear to There Travel.
Hey guys, how we doing tonight?
Good to see you, Nick.
Good.
You as well.
Please tell our viewers where they can find you and any new content to check out.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, as well as we just launched a website to help out with booking cruises, sign up for our newsletters. That is going to be going live this weekend. Everything's ready to go. We just need to make sure that the last kinks are done with. But other than that, we're all over social media. We post numerous times throughout the day on everything. With new discounts, drops, promos coming out, what seems to be on a regular basis right now, it's keeping me quite busy.
Very nice. And Disney with Matthew. Go ahead and...
All right, guys. Please follow me on YouTube at Disney with Matthew, and my new channel is the previous one that I got terminated, but I got the new one. So please check out Disney with Matthew, the mod and moderator for APP, and please check out my channel. Help me get up to 50 subscribers, and also I'm part of the DSN network. So please check out DSN Disney Streamer Network, and you can watch up to 50 streamers all at once. And you can follow me on socials, on social media. On Instagram is MP in Orlando, and Facebook is Matthew Perdomo, and TikTok is MP Basketball Zero. And please check those out. Link in the subscription.
Very nice. And you can follow me on Amusement Park Pirates on YouTube, Blue Sky, not Blue Sky, but Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Everything is there on our, on our bio. So make sure to check out my socials there. I am also a part of the DSN. Check out our friends over at the Disney Streamer Network. I am a part of that organization for about a year now, as we approach the 1 year mark on June 4th. So thank you everyone for joining us. Let's go ahead and say hello to some people because I see some friends joining us. We have On Aboard with Blake. Good evening. Welcome in. Good to see you. We also have Jalen. Welcome in. We have Disney cast crew member Monique. She says hi all. We also have Patrick Julian. Welcome in. Good to see you as well. Make sure to check out Patrick's channel as well as All Aboard with Blake's channel. Spring Blossom Fairies here. Welcome in. And we also have Tony O'Tower. Welcome in, Tony. Make sure to check out our good friend Tony, also part of the network. And that's about it. So let's get into it. My first question to you, Nick, is what inspired you to start Ear to Their Travel?
Well, we didn't start it. We're actually part of a host agency. The owner, the agency's been around for about 10, maybe 15 years now. The majority of the agents that are in the agency itself have been either Disney or Universal cast members and team members. So we know what it's like to be in the parks. We know it's like to, have different aspects, get that white glove service that, of course, you recommend, or not recommend, but that you expect while you're dealing with going and vacation in the parks. I've been with the company for next week will be 5 years for me. But before that, I spent 15 years as a Disney cast member.
Very nice. Before we go into the next question, I also want to welcome in Leo and the Mouse. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening as well, Leo. All right, Matthew, what is the next question?
All right. When did your love for Disney parks begin, and why did you start becoming a cast member since the early in the early years?
God, you're gonna make me show my age. I've always been a Disney fan. It all started when I was 2. I was actually at Epcot's grand opening ceremony. So October 1st, 1982. I had just turned 2 years old at the time. My grandparents were actually huge Disney fans. We now have D23 or the Disney fan event. But prior to that, it was actually called Disneyana. And my grandparents had wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling Disney memorabilia that was collected throughout the years. We actually have one of the original Mickey and Minnie plush dolls from 1930. That was the first thing that was licensed by Walt Disney himself to allow characters to be made for little girls, little kids. So growing up, all during the summer, every summer we would, here in Atlanta, it was a 8-hour drive at the time. We'd go down every summer, spend weekends. My grandparents lived down in the Orlando area. When I graduated high school and went to college, the Disney College program was actually on campus. So it's always been a dream of mine to work for the company. And my parents said that if I wanted to do the internship, which required me to take a semester off of school, I would have to do summer school. So I did. I was actually, my first assignment was on the friendship boats at Epcot. So going between in the World Showcase Lagoon, as well as the resorts over to Disney's Hollywood Studios. did that program 6 months, became a recruiter for the college program. During that, I also did a couple other programs, internship programs. My last one was a aquarium curator at the Living Seas. So I was in the tank 3 days, 5 days a week, 3 times a day, which was awesome. And then after that, I was actually picked up by Magic Kingdom Special Events as a procurement coordinator. So I did a lot of the hard ticket events, the park buyouts, Grad Night, Night of Joy, the events that they no longer have. Left the company and then came back in 2018, 2019 timeframe for the Disney stores here in the Atlanta area. And I was with them up until 21 when they had to shut down.
Very cool.
So, Nick, was there a specific trip that you made that made you realize this could become a career?
Of the hundreds of trips that we took as a family, I can't pick out just one. They're all special. They all have a memory in our hearts. I will have to say that probably my favorite trip was during the Millennium Celebration. That was actually right when I started with the company. So February 1st, 2000 was when I was my first full day working for the company.
Okay. Let's see. Matthew, what is the next question?
What's been the biggest surprise running a Disney-focused travel business?
The biggest surprise is you never know what's going to happen. Of course, we all remember COVID, where everything shut down. It was supposed to be a 2-week closure, then it turned into a 3-month closure and everything else. When COVID happened, I was working for the Disney store. We were furloughed, and then we were brought back. But once the restrictions and everything started being removed, of course, then you had your revenge travel. So parks were getting busier. It was just boom, 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 boom. My first year, I didn't do much Disney planning, just because people still weren't wanting to travel down to the parks. They did a lot of local planning here in the Atlanta area. But after that, it just took off like a rocket. So, there's, it's good days, bad days. I worked in restaurants I was restaurant manager for 20 years. So it's one of those where you never know what one day is going to give to you.
Very interesting.
So, Nick, Monique in the chat here says, what inspired you to become a Disney family and become a cast member to make magic?
Monique, I said it earlier. I grew up with Disney. Like I said, my grandparents, my mom's parents, collected a lot of Disney memorabilia. They were Disney fans from the get-go. We had annual passes, back in the 80s when they were $30 a year. Now, granted, you only had 2 parks back then, but even in the 90s when they were still less than $100 for the year. For the annual pass, it was just one of those things where we just kept going down. There would be times where my mom would take my dad to work. We would come home. My brother and I would be in school. We'd hop in the van, go get my dad, and then just drive down to Disney, stay at Fort Wilderness, and hit the parks.
Nice. Then getting back to moving away towards your past and now towards your future. Now we're going to get into the planning phases for this coming summer. So my question to you is, what is the biggest mistake families make planning Disney vacations?
If it's their first time, it can be overwhelming. Of course, you get into the parks, you do your research, you get in the parks, you go to Magic Kingdom and you're just like, okay, we know what we're going to do. And then everything just goes away just because you're so enthralled with what's going on. That's one of the big things. One of the other things that's kind of is a hiccup for families going down is not knowing what they want to do. Not knowing what's there, and that's where we come into play. We are with we're with the client from the moment that we start talking to you about your upcoming vacation to the time you book, to the time you check in. We're there with you as you're on your vacation, and then even we check in with you while you're on your vacation, and then we check in with you when you get back from home, and ask how everything was. So we're there from start to finish for you guys. So that's one of the things that I enjoy. My job has me on the phone a lot, for my full-time job, but it's just one of those things where you want to build that relationship. And if you drop the ball somewhere, then, they're not going to trust you again.
All right. What dining reservation disappeared fastest in the summer? Like in the summer, like in the parks or in the Disney hotels. Like for those for disappear fastest for the dining reservation.
Well, right now you have, the ones that disappear the fastest are going to be your character dining, especially if you have young children going with you. Chef Mickey's, Ohana's, Crystal Palace, Restaurant Akershus, with the princesses over in Norway. Those always booked real far in advance. You hit your 60-day mark, and you can't get it. Well, then maybe you'll check in and see if you can find it, wherever the case may be. And even with Bibby Bobby Boutique over at the Magic Kingdom, that one is also a very hard one to get into. So if you have a young princess who wants to be made over and stuff like that, that's one of those are the hardest ones to deal with. Now, when you book with a travel agent or you book with us, we actually have a system that I'm subscribed to, where if at 6 a.m. on your when your dining reservation window opens up, if I can't get it or if it's sold out, I will put it in the system, and as soon as something comes available, I get notified. I log into your My Disney Experience account, and I book it for you. So you don't have to worry about anything. All of a sudden, you'll just see, hey, I have a reservation at a place that I want to get to. And it's just right there for you.
Absolutely. I agree.
So what attractions should guests prioritize the first?
That is going to be a personal preference. So if you're a thrill seeker and you're at Magic Kingdom, Tron. I'm going to say that. If you're at Epcot, once again, thrill seeker, Guardians. But if you're traveling with kids and, or you're traveling with someone who is not a thrill seeker, then, any of the rides over in Fantasyland. Or even now with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad having opened up and lowering their height requirement down to 38 inches, it's made to be more of a family oriented attraction. So it's just one of those. It's all personal preference. For me personally, like I said, I'm a thrill seeker, so it would be Tron at the Magic Kingdom. It will be Guardians over at Epcot, and I know Tony's in the chat right now. So it is going to be Tower of Terror over at Hollywood Studios.
Nice.
All right. What's the best way to beat the summer crowds at both Disneyland and Disney World?
Go early. As soon as you. I mean, in all transparency, I have not been to Disneyland in about 25 years. So a lot has changed. California Adventure was not even open the last time I was out in California. But if when you're booking a trip during the summertime, the earlier you book, the better, because you do get the hotels that you want. You do get the hotel choices that you want. You do get some of the pricing. If there are discounts available right then and there, you get those, and we can talk about how discounts work a little bit later. But if once you get there, and then even to beat the heat, because Orlando gets extremely hot, Anaheim gets extremely hot during the summer. Do the park in the morning, go back to the hotel, rest, relax, hit pools, and then go back at night. So.
Ready, everybody?
What are the best places to relax during a busy park? This could be either at Disneyland or Disney World.
Best places to relax would just be anywhere that's comfortable for you. If you want to hop into a quick service restaurant, go grab something to eat and just relax and get off your feet for a little bit. Go back to the hotel, relax, get off your feet, have some have some lunch there.
I'm Patrick, your chief flight attendant.
Even something as simple as going on a dark ride. So let it be Small World, Peter Pan. Something slow moving that's allows you to relax while you're in there.
All right. The best time of the day to take a break.
Once it starts getting extremely warm. Typically, with my youngest daughter, when we first took her, we would hit the parks early in the morning, stay there till probably about 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, go back to the hotel, have lunch, relax, go to the pool, swim, and then 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, go back to the parks, have dinner in the parks, and stay there till park close. So once again, it's that's all personal preference. We have some clients, and even when I was growing up, going to parks, we'd be there from park open, from rope drop to park close. And this was back when, Magic Kingdom would be open till 2 o'clock in the morning during the summer.
Oh.
So we'd be in the parks from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. So it was actually pretty good. Yeah, so it's going to be that personal preference on, do you want to stay all day or do you want to go and relax? But if you're going to relax, like I said, do it during the hottest part of the day, so that way you're not overstraining yourself.
Very nice.
So, what is your favorite cooling off attractions during the heat waves?
I'm gonna say Kali River Rapids over at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Now, yes, you can get soaked on there, but it can cool you off. But if you're someone that doesn't want to walk around the parks all soaking wet the rest of the day, maybe something a little bit more tamer. So, prime example, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. If you're over at Disneyland, Grizzly River, that I've heard that one is a pretty good ride if you want to get drenched on.
Yeah, Tiana's is the best to get drenched on. So.
I agree. APP.
Especially since someone went on it just recently, actually. So, anyways, before we go to the next question, I just want to welcome in some new folks. We got Mary's Adventures. Welcome in. Good to see you, Mary. Make sure to check out our good friend Mary over at the DSN Disney Streamer Network. He streams over there in Disneyland Paris. Right now, he's in Walt Disney World. So make sure to check out our good friend Mary's Adventures. Good to see you. So let's see, where were we?
Okay, there it is. I found
Okay.
it. Okay.
So I think it's Matthew.
Yes. What should first-time Disneyland or Disney World visitors avoid doing?
Overdoing themselves. First timers, take it easy, taking the sights, taking the sounds, taking the food. If you're a big food person, especially right now, Epcot has the International Flower and Garden Festival going on. Pretty soon they're going to have the Food and Wine Festival happening. So it seems like Epcot always has a festival going through. So if you want to try something new that you've never had before, those are the festivals that do it. Same thing over at Disneyland is, if I'm not mistaken, they just had within the last couple months their Food and Wine Festival. That's another one that if you want to try something new, do it. I mean, it's you're there to have fun. You're there to do new things. You're there to be make those memories, and if doing these new things is going to create those memories that's going to last that lifetime, by all means, the world is yours when you're down there.
Very nice.
I agree with you, Nick.
So Nick, now to the cruise line. Let's talk a little bit about Disney Cruise Line. So what surprises first-time Disney Cruise Line guests the most?
If you've been on a cruise before but have not sailed on a Disney Cruise Line, you'll be surprised at the level of detail that the cruise lines have. Even if it's your first time cruising, and you're with the family, you're with young kids, and you take them to the kid zones while the adults go off and have fun on the ship. I've had clients who have gone with young kids, and they drop their kids off. They come back to get the kids for dinner. Kids don't want to leave. They're there having fun in the kids areas, in the Oceaneer Labs, and everything that Disney has to offer for the young cruisers, and they don't want to leave. They're making friends. They don't want to go back and hang out with mom and dad for dinner. I wouldn't.
Absolutely. Matthew, what is the next question?
All right. What's one thing Disney Cruise does better than every other cruise line?
I mean, Disney's known for hospitality. Yes, you can do a cruise with the other cruise liners. Not to say anything disparaging about them. They are all great in their own right. But Disney is the creme de la creme. So you're going to pay Disney prices for it, which tend to be about on par with what you pay in the parks. So you're right there with it. But you go on a Disney cruise, you're not going to want to go on any other cruise line.
Very nice.
So heading back to parks, but before we do that, I just want to welcome in Tigger Girl. Welcome in. Good to see you, Tigger Girl. Good to see you. So heading back to the parks, which parks are easiest to do in half a day?
I mean, with all the construction going on right now, Animal Kingdom can be done in half a day. They are working on Tropical Americas, which is set to, we're hoping, set to reopen sometime next year, probably late summer, early fall of 27. So then we're going to have, that area is going to open back up with the Encanto attraction, with the Indiana Jones attraction. for the next couple of weeks until Rock and Roller with the Muppets opens back up. And Hollywood Studios, you can probably do in a half day. Magic Kingdom and Epcot are going to be 4-day parks. There are not many attractions over at Epcot, but you do have the World Showcase. And if you are a cultural buff and like to learn about the cultures, you can spend an entire afternoon walking around World Showcase and talking to the cast members, learning their histories. And a lot of people do not realize that the cast members in World Showcase are actually part of the Disney International College Program.
Very nice. We also, before we move on, I just want to welcome in Days Around Florida. Welcome in. He says, hello, everyone. Welcome in, Days Around Florida. And we got a new subscriber. Welcome to I Love Disney. Welcome to the crew. Thank you for joining us. So, Matthew, go ahead and do the next one.
All right. How early should families reach out to you before their trip?
The sooner the better. And I say that because the closer you wait to the trip that you're looking to go on, the hotel that you want to stay at might not be available. The room style in the hotel that you want to stay at might not be available. So yeah, the sooner as soon as you have a date in mind, reach out to us, and then we can get everything started for you right then and there. The 27 packages are opened right now for Walt Disney World, going through check-ins through October 31st. We'll probably see the rest of 27 open up. Maybe I would probably, following the bouncing ball and compared to last year's, maybe by July we should see those opening up. Disneyland, we typically don't see open up until midsummer. So late July, early August timeframe, we'll see Disneyland open up for the following year. And as soon as they do, once again, it's, if you say, hey, I want to go to Disneyland in July of next year, you can reach out to us right now. And we'll put you on the book. So that way, as soon as it drops in, we can reach out to you and we can get everything started going for you.
That's perfect. And one thing, since I'm going to Disneyland in August, can I book your the Ear to the Travel or right now?
You can, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we can. I have a client who was on a cruise line. They were Caribbean cruise line coming back in January, and of course, mid January is when much of the country was hit with that extremely cold weather. They called me up and they said, hey, we're pulling into port tomorrow. We don't want to drive back to Atlanta. We don't want to deal with the cold. Can we get a hotel reservation for the next 5 nights? Because we don't want to drive. So needless to say, they're on a cruise line. They're calling me. I get them booked and they're set and ready to go. So yeah, I've done trips where it's a 24-hour turn time from the time that they call me to the time they check in. So it does not matter when you book.
Okay.
Very nice.
Thank you, Nick.
And one last question before we go into Q&A, because I see a lot of questions from our viewers. So, Nick, for anyone listening right now who's ready to finally plan that Disney vacation, Disney cruise, or Universal trip, where should they go and how can they contact you?
I am going to actually go ahead and drop the link for our website in the chat if I can.
Or I can actually show it to you on screen. Would that be easier?
I'm going to drop it right on in for it. This is the easiest way to get a hold of us right now. Did it not go in?
It did.
Okay. Yeah, if you click on that link, it'll actually take you to our website that was actually created by Sierra with Cruise and Theme Park Guide. So I want to thank her for that if she's on right now. But you can go in and you click the link. It gives you the option for Disney, Universal, or cruise lines, non-Disney cruise lines. And then once you go to that, there's a form to fill out, and we can get you taken care of right then and there. You fill out the form, you hit submit, you get an email saying, hey, we received the email, we received your request, and then you have access to our calendar, and click on time and date that works for you. We'll have a quick 30-minute Zoom call, and then boom, we're off and running to the races. We get everything we need to do, get that quote together for you, and then we go right from there.
Yep, so I just put the website on the screen. If you guys want to go check them out, make sure to click on castlesandcruises.com /Nick PHP if you are interested with that. So
and then also because we are your official travel partners, you can also go to this site. That way, I know where it came from. Let's see here. See if I can't find it. There it is. So this will actually, let me know that anything that comes through actually comes from, everyone watching here with Amusement Park Pirates with Diego and Matthew. So that way I know how to do some things on the back end for them.
Very nice. So we've reached the end, almost the end of our stream, where we turn it over to you guys, the chat. It's time for some Q&A. So if you have any questions about planning for summer, any great details or deals, our guests, or even just theme parks in general, feel free to drop into the chat. I also see Magical Mike. Welcome in. Good to see you, sir. Make sure to check out Magical Mike. That's part of Magic Adventures with a J over on the Disney Streamer Network. So first of all, I would like to give a big shout out to Disney cast crew member Monique, sending the very first super chat on our channel. She says, should guests make a to-do list and have lightning lanes for rides in case?
Lightning lanes is kind of a sticky subject for me, Monique. I come from the generation of the paper fast passes. So when you get into the park, you run right to the attraction that you want to get a fast pass for. You insert your park ticket, you get a time to return. If there's no times available, there's no times available. Lightning lanes are good for if you're there for like a quick trip, and you don't have time to wait in line. If you're there for like a day trip, but if you're there for a multi-day trip, 3-4 days minimum, me personally, I wouldn't worry about lightning lanes. Now, that being said, if someone asks about lightning lane strategy, I will give it to them. We don't book the lightning lanes for our clients. Some agencies do, but we don't, just because there's so many variables for it. Like, we don't know when you're going to be having lunch. We don't know when, grabbing a quick bite to eat. So we want to leave that up to you.
Just want to welcome in Cruise and Theme Park Guide, and have a good night, Tigger Girl. Have a wonderful night. Monique also says, would you like guests to do a plan ahead on their magical vacation so they have a head start, who have have a to-do list they should make while booking as well?
So that's one of the things that we discuss. Like I said, once the booking process starts, we have that consultation call. So that way we get to know you, get to know your travel plan, your travel style, and then we get the more important things like your budget, the hotel, all that stuff that you want to do. As we move forward, so let's say we're booking a trip for December of this year. So we do it now. Once we hit the 60-day mark, or once we hit the 90-day mark, emails will start going out on a constant basis. Saying, hey, you need to get ready for this, you need to get ready for this, you need to get ready for this. At day 75, you'll get an email from us that has information about all the restaurants on Walt Disney property. There's over 200 restaurants on Disney property. And these go from quick service to full service to character dining, things along those lines. You let us know what dining reservations you want. We will make it for you. We can also do a Zoom call. So we're there the entire time. You might not hear from us for a while, but once we get into that 100-day mark from before your trip, that's when things really start ramping up to get you excited, saying, hey, look, you're going down during the holiday season. This is what you want to look out for. You're going down to, if you're going down for the holidays for Christmas, then you have Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. We can secure those tickets for you. So it's, you're never alone during the planning process. We're always there for you. I have clients that say, hey, we just want to book with you, and then we take care of everything on our own. That's great. You're still going to get emails from us. But we also have clients who want us to hold their hands. They've never been. So they're like, okay, well, what do we do? Well, we run that gambit for our clients.
Very nice. And Disney cast crew member Monique also says, should guests have a to-do list, like plan ahead when making a magical vacation for their Disney trips?
Monique, we just answered that question.
Okay.
I think it came over twice.
Or I must have missed. Monique also says, how can guests who are planning ahead with their bookings for the Disney trips, are they always flexible at some point?
Yeah, I mean, you can, if we have a date in mind and we book that date, and then all of a sudden, as long as we're before that 30-day mark, before check-in, because, when you book a Disney package, it's $200 deposit, and then the balance is due 30 days prior to your arrival date. And then you can make payments, between that time, as long as that balance that's due is 30 days prior. If you come up to me and say, if you give me a call or you shoot me an email and say, hey, Nick, something came up this week, we're not going to be able to make it. We still want to go down, but our dates are now changed to this date. Can you change it for us? Yeah, I'll call. I'll see if anything's available. And if there is, there could be a price increase. There could be a price decrease. It just depends on what's going on at the time. But yeah, Disney's very, very good about making changes on vacation because they know things happen. I have a client who's doing a Disney cruise in in October. They were going to go down because it was their daughter's fall break time frame. Well, when they initially booked last year, the school calendar for that time frame had not been released yet. It got released. They said, hey, we need to move our trip back a week. Can we do that? I went onto our portal, went into the reservation, booked it right then and there, and actually it saved them about $200 just by changing the dates around.
And then Disney cast crew member Monique also says, and will guests planning to do attractions, should a lightning lane be the best fast pass to have?
Like I said, fast lightning lanes are a sticky point for me. If it's something that you want to do and you're there for a short while, like a day or two, and you want to make sure you hit those attractions, yes, lightning lanes would be the best way to go. If you're there for a 3, 4, 5, 6 day trip, whatever the case may be, I wouldn't really worry about lightning lanes, just because you have so much time to do whatever you need to do or whatever you want to do, and then But there are people who don't want to wait in line. They want to spend they want to spend the money and do that, and I'm not going to say no because it's their vacation. I'll help them out wherever they need to be. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you want to make sure that you're taking care of the guest, and the guest knows what knows what to expect.
Very nice. Let's see. Days Around Florida. He says, "What is the best Disney ship for the first time adult cruisers with no kids?"
Oh Lord. If you want to go old school Days Around Florida, I'd say the Magic or the Wonder. If you want to go on the newest, I mean, the thing is, you're going to have a great time no matter what on any Disney cruise. The Disney cruise lines have separate areas that are adults only and kid only, kid friendly, and then family friendly. So you can spend, you can do a cruise, a Disney cruise, and not be around kids the entire time. With all the adult only activities that they have, you have Palo, which is an adult only restaurant on the resort, on the ships. So there's not a ship that's the best when it comes to being there with no kids, because you're gonna see them, but you're gonna be able to be in an area ship that kids are not allowed in, the spas, things like that.
Very nice. And then, supposedly, last but not least, we have Cruise and Theme Park Guide. She says, "Nick, do you plan to organize a group cruise where creators and theme park fans can go on a cruise to collaborate?"
I do plan on organizing that. We just need to see what's available. So I am getting a landing page ready to go through the portal that we use to book our trips. And then once I have that ready to go, I'll send it out to the different creators and the fans. So that way, if they want to go and they want to meet everyone, they're more than welcome to. Just haven't decided when we're going to be doing that yet. So that is on the roadmap, and that is on the back of my mind.
Very nice. I also want to welcome in Cece Crew, loves Disney. She says, "That's awesome. I so want to do a Disney cruise." Days Around Florida says, "We were thinking it would be better to do an older ship as the first one to then try the newer ones."
Days Around Florida, the Magic, the Wonder, the Fantasy, those three right there, those are going to be the ones you're going to, have the best, I wouldn't say the best time on, but you're going to have a good time on any of them. They are the older ships. They are, they don't have all the bells and whistles like the newer ones have. But, once again, they're still great ships.
Very nice.
And a lot of times the older ships are, depending on where you want to sail out of, those run the shorter weekend trips, so like the 3 to 4 day trips.
All right. So unless if there are other questions, Monique says, "To get us really pumped, what would be your favorite Disney shows on board any cruise line, any Disney cruise ship?"
Lord, I would probably say the Moana, on the treasure. That's going to be probably one of the better ones out there for it. I would love to do the Disney Adventure cruise. However, that one only ports out of Singapore, and I don't think my wife would want me to pay for the cost to fly from Atlanta to Singapore to board a ship. I'd love to do it, but I don't think she'd like to.
Nice. Days around Florida. Have a good night. She says, have to run. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, Days around Florida. Catch you next time, my friend. So while we are waiting for some other viewers to answer any last minute questions, Matthew, do you have any questions for our guest tonight?
I do. I have a question for Nick. Like, is it like the lightning lane that you told me, like for like the fast pass paper? Is it like free, or you have to like you take care of it or something?
So the lightning lanes that they have now, those are all paid for.
Yeah.
And that's something that you as the guest, as the traveler would take care of, just because there's so many things so many different aspects that can be used for it. The timing, all this other stuff. What I was referring to was back in the late 90s, back in 99, 2000. They had these kiosks that would be in front of each of the attractions,
Fast pass.
Test track. Yeah, these test track, Buzz Lightyear, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain. All the big major attractions that you would actually, if you want to have a time that you can go back to that ride, you would actually have to sprint to that attraction, put your theme park ticket in, and then get a time to come back. That did go away when with the Fantasyland expansion, and then they introduced the My Disney Experience platform, and then you can go on and you can book, you can make your own fast passes online. And then with the introduction of Genie Plus, that's when all that stuff started coming back into play for the charging for it. So, but yeah, I enjoyed getting at the park at 8:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, running to an attraction, putting my ticket in, and then I wouldn't be able to get back until 7 o'clock that night. And it was one of those you can only have one attraction out at a time. So if you go to Splash Mountain, you put your ticket in, and you got a time frame to come back at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're waiting in line for other attractions. You could not get another one until that 2 o'clock time frame.
Very interesting. I did not know that. Thank you, Nick.
All right. So, if there are no further questions, which so far I do not see anybody asking any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and close the Q&A for this evening. Yeah, so that once again, Nick, would you mind telling our viewers where they can find you and any new?
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Our Instagram handle, I should know this, but I don't. There you go. Yeah, it's pulled up. Thank you. So that's our Facebook page. You can search for Nick and Shannon Jenkins Ear to Their Travel. Our Instagram is at Nick Ear to Their Travel, if I'm not mistaken. Blue Sky is going to be this. Blue Sky is Nick Ear to Their Travel, and Threads is going to be the same thing as our Instagram handle. So you can find us all on there. We do have a link tree that is up and running. I do need to update that, but now that we have the actual landing page, that's actually going to go away. And then with the page, with that landing page that we have, you can actually sign up for our newsletter. So we do bring out a monthly newsletter. Then, anytime a deal drops, let it be Disney, Universal, cruises, send that email out so you have it right then and there for you.
Very nice. I also really quickly showed where you can put that link which is in the description, and where basically is where it should go to. You also want to welcome in Buzz Lightyear fan. He says, howdy APP, Tony, Patrick, Matthew, Sierra, Monique, and everyone else. And sorry I might be late. No worries, Buzz. You're always on time. All aboard with Blake says, good night, friends. Have a good night, Blake. Hope to see you next time. And oh my gosh, we got another super chat from Disney cast crew member Monique. This is the last question of the night. Is character dinings easy to make reservations?
No. It depends on the dining, on the character dining you want. Cinderella's Royal Table is very hard to get into. I've probably only eaten there twice over the 40 odd years that we've been going to the parks. Restaurant Akershus over, any of the character dinings is very hard to get into. Chef Mickey's is probably one of the hardest ones. Ohana breakfast with Stitch and Pals over at the Polynesian, that's another very hard one to get into. But that's where that's what we come into play at, is if we're booking your vacation and you are die hard set on character dining, and we get that 60-day mark and we log into your account. So that's one thing that we do is, if you allow us to have access to your My Disney Experience account, we will send you a form that, for you to give us all your information. We do recommend that you create a temporary password, so that way once your trip is done, then you can change it back out to your original one. If we're doing if you have an idea of, if you're diehard set on a character dining experience, and they don't have it available at that 60-day mark, once we get everything in for you, I'll go into the subscription portal that I have and put in number of guests, what restaurant, the time, the date, and as soon as something pops up, I get notified via text and email. I click that link, it goes right to your My Disney Experience profile, and I book it for you. So, and it's not perfect because sometimes it will, go pretty quickly for it, but at least we have that as an option that I can get going for you.
Absolutely. So Matthew, let's close it out.
All right. Well, that wraps things up for us here on our special podcast stream. Big thanks to our special guest, Nick, to Ear to Our Travel, for joining us today. It was a pleasure getting to chat with you, and hope to see you. Hope you can join us again soon. And
it was my pleasure. Thank you.
Of course. Also make sure after this live stream, to come.
Matthew. So before we end, let's thank our trusted travel advisor. If you are thinking of booking your next Disney trip, Ear to Their Travel is the way to go. At no extra cost to you, they can help you plan your next dream vacation, whether it's at Disney or any other destination you have in mind. Use the link in the description to submit your request or scan this QR code on the right side of the screen to plan your next dream vacation. Also, if you want to see when your favorite streamers go live all at once, check out the Disney Streamer Network, where you can watch up to 32 live streamers all at one time. To our other listeners, if you haven't already done so, please make sure to smash that like button for us. And if you are brand new to the channel, please consider giving us a subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you know the next time we go live. Thank you to our for keeping the chats. Also want to thank our special our moderators for keeping the chats fun, clean, and engaging and positive for anyone who enters the chat. Thank you to our Ninja Watchers, our Patreon members, as well as all of you for joining us.
All right. And also, everyone, make sure after this live stream to comment below what was your favorite part during the podcast, or if you had fun during tonight's stream, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, we are currently raising funds for the Children's Hospital of Orange County. Every donation helps support the amazing care and life-saving work they provide for children and family in need. If you're interested in donating, please scan this QR code on the right-hand side of the screen, so you can make sure to donate at Amusement Park Pirates .chalk. Thank you in advance for your support.
And speaking of chalk, please join us on our next stream next Thursday night. We will be giving away a Mad Hatter acrylic painting created and designed by Art by Nemad. So if you want to be a part of the giveaway, please consider donating to enter. Plus, we are doing some trivia as well. So let's see here. Until the next live stream, thank you all for joining us. We will see you in the parks real soon. Good night, everybody.
Have a great night, guys.
Oh, good night.
There's a spark is in your heart. Wherever you go, you have it. Ooh, 'cause you are the magic.